but the content of protecting the interests of big business, of finding scapegoats, of finding ways of increasingly demonizing minorities, this will continue. So I mean, that's the thing to fear, I think. So and the
rest of the world.
Oh, the rest of the world. That's a double thing. I think. I mean, seriously, I think our only guiding light has got to be international law, the Geneva Conventions, international law, and that's the basis of our foreign policy. And we don't have that, and we've got to seriously look at the arms trade. I mean, why are we engaging in this? I think also we've got to examine Trident, because we know we're not going to use it. I mean, if someone uses it on us, it'll be too late. And if we're the first, well, that's a destruction we can't tolerate. And there's a so for me, and that's 120 billion. Now, are we saying we're less secure than Sweden? Are we saying we're less secure than Germany even? No. Yeah. So I think that's something you've got to seriously consider. Is that expenditure? But I think the basic rule is international law and the United Nations and the reform of the United Nations, because at the moment the Security Council controls everything, and we know Russia will veto or America will veto, and we're dealing with and we're supplying weapons to countries that are ignoring international law. Obviously Saudi Arabia is the obvious one, but there are others, and you can all name them. So I think, based on the international law, based on the Geneva Conventions, start a movement to reform the United Nations so that we don't have to be individual policemen. That's the failing, isn't it? Oh, the America has got to be the policeman of the world. That doesn't work, because we know where it leads. So we've got to have an international authority and then re-examine Trident. And really consider what do we need to make us safe, rather than playing this, this kind of war game with a weapon that we will never use. So those are my basic ideas.
Okay, thank you very much, Ken. We're going to finish this now. One rallying call. What would you say to us tomorrow, on the eve of the election?
Oh God, I'd say, look, whatever happens, we have made huge strides. Yeah. This party is now 3 times bigger than it was 4 years ago. It has a programme that really deals with the big issues of our times, and it has the scope, the principles are there to extend it. I mean, this deals with poverty, it deals with the rising food banks, I mean, all issues that barely have been touched in this election. Yeah. And the insecure work, establishing trade union rights, you would think they don't exist. You turn on the telly, they don't exist. And so, housing, 130,000 kids in temporary accommodation, B&Bs, last Christmas, how many this year? And all the problems that brings for families, and kids in school trying to do their homework in one room with smaller kids. I mean, what torture we put our families through. We deal with that, establishing public ownership as a core building block of a socialist economy, a planned economy. Regenerating the regions that Thatcher left desolate, and Blair left desolate, and Brown. Re-establishing those. I mean, these are fantastic ideas, with green jobs, with green technology, with jobs, with trade union rights, apprenticeships, security of work. So the kids aren't leaving the places in droves and leaving them empty. I mean, these are massive ideas. You'd think they don't exist from this election. But we've got to hang on to those ideas. We've got to defend it and be ready next time. And so we made huge advances. And the size of this meeting, apart, you know, if for nothing else, this should give us confidence. You know, this is a long, long struggle, and this is one battle. Pray God we win it. But there'll be another battle, and so we just got to stay strong, and I'm sure you will, and stick to our guns and keep going.
Do I need that? No, I don't need that. Ken and I share one other thing. He's a Bath City supporter, and I'm a Forest Green supporter. And we met up to talk about how we could really democratise football support. We've got, dare I say, Stuart, football poets. It's all about how we make the game, the beautiful game, accessible to ordinary people, rather than to the billionaires and those who just rip it off at the top. So we share that interest. Look, I've already said, it's all over to you tomorrow. I just put my legs up and just wave at you. We are the Red Wedge. That went down well with Billy Bragg. But we are the Red Wedge. We cannot let that Red Wedge go. We know how difficult it is in other places, but we can do it here. But I need you all out there. We've got to knock on more doors. We've got to have more conversations. We've got to get people in the most foul weather to vote. Because I'm getting it with the phone calls I'm making. Well, I don't know, the weather forecast. Well, we'll offer them anything. Well, we'll offer them a lift on a bike. But the main thing is, you know, as I keep saying, this is a huge constituency. To win, I've got to get 32,000 votes. That's an awful lot of votes. But that's what the winning the winning margin will be. So, yeah, the polls are looking a bit better for us, but that's just hypothetical. It's about real people doing real things tomorrow. You know there's a real wealth of support out there. We've seen that on the stall. We've seen that on the doors. We've seen that through some of the social media. And we know we've got to persuade Green friends to change their habits, and hopefully a few Lib Dems to come our way. But if we can do that, we beat the Tories. And if nothing else, Stroud leads the way, and we will fight and keep fighting, and we will stay fighting. So tomorrow night we win. Thank you.